are listening to Dr. Troy Munson with Words of Radiance. Now here is your host, Dr. Munson.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson. What you see is what you keep getting. This is a podcast that we've hit on several times kind of in a roundabout way, but let's unpack this a little bit differently so we can see it from perhaps another vantage point and gain more clarity. Now, why I put it this way is what you see, what you keep focusing on, what you keep noticing in your life and in your experience is often what you're going to keep getting because that's what you keep seeing and what you keep wanting to see. So what does that mean to us, though? What it means is this. If let's say that you are mad, then you see things around you that make you mad or make you angry. If you notice that you tend to be in this situation where you're always getting upset or getting mad and people have to apologize to you, my friend, you need to take a quick look in the mirror, maybe even a long look in the mirror, and start realizing, is all I want to see is what makes me mad? Maybe I should do something different. Now, we're also going to talk about what to do with this stuff and how to change it at the end here, so stay tuned. Or you can fast forward to that. But let's say that you just see disrespect constantly. You're constantly offended by what people say. You are now seeing that everywhere. And because that is what you want to see, it's what you keep getting. And so if you believe that you could be disrespected and that you could be offended, then you, my friend, are going to have no end to disrespectedness and offenses. Good luck with that, unless you want to do something about it. Stay tuned. If you are one that has tons of guilt and shame, you're just, all I am is shamed all day long, and I feel guilty about everything, like I should be in trouble and punished, and everybody should just heap their crap on me because I'm the bad one, then that is what you want to see and what you keep seeing. And you might think, what are you talking about? How could I possibly change this? Everybody's out to get me. No, they aren't actually. It is only you that's out to get you. And again, stay tuned. We'll talk about it. Perhaps you just see apathy everywhere, like it's just no use. It's not gonna matter. I'm powerless. I can't change anything. Why would I even start? It isn't gonna matter. Then that, my friend, is what you're going to keep seeing. You're going to see situations that you will feel continuously powerless against until you recognize that you're the one that has the belief that you are indeed powerless and that apathy now rules your life. But again, stay tuned. We have a way of showing you how to get out of the house that you've built. I think it's the house that Jack built. It's a great nursery rhyme. You might want to read it. Last, and of course the most fun, and there are a myriad of others, but let's just take the majors. So here's the last. Fearlessness, weakness, inability to do things. I just simply am afraid of everything. I worry constantly. I wonder what I could possibly do. I have anxiety to no end. Fears are everywhere if you want to see them. And yet, if you don't, you don't. Now, let's just take, because of the world in which we live right now, and if you're wondering, it's the end of 2023 as I'm recording this. But what did we just go through for 2.5 years? Of course, people so afraid that they literally donned masks and they ran out to get some experimental shot of which they have no idea what it's doing or what it could do. I keep wondering if you were going to watch a television show and somebody told you about it, wouldn't you at least go kind of research it? Wouldn't you ask a bit more questions? You probably would. If you were going to go buy a car, wouldn't you at least possibly research it a little bit and try to find out if it's even a good car? What's its repair history? What's it gonna cost me on an average repair? What's the gas mileage? How well does it drive? Are the tires any good? Are they in alignment? I mean, you might ask 100 questions on a new car, but you don't question at all a shot that they're going to inject into the body? It's dumbfounding. But when people come to me with that kind of level of fear and I begin to help them see through their fears, now all of a sudden they begin to awaken a bit. And that's ultimately what we're talking about. So now what do I do? Ultimately, it really is quite simple. Let's say that we can use this car analogy and somebody's trying to sell you a car, but you already have a car. In fact, you have 3. You can't even drive them all. But now they're trying to sell you a car. In fact, the car they're trying to sell you, you already have one. And in fact, you have one of the same color, make, model, year, everything. Same amount of mileage, everything's the same. Yet they're trying to sell it to you. How good do they have to be to try to sell you a car you already have? I'm serious. But would you buy it? No, of course not. And it's simply that simple. Stop buying what you don't want. Now, what does that mean if I live in a constant state of fear and anxiety and people are trying to tell me how afraid to be on the news, and so I continually watch the news to know how afraid I should be? What am I wanting to buy? You guessed it. I'm wanting to buy fear. If you continually get mad at everybody around you and everything around you and every situation around you, guess what you're buying? Yes, you're buying fear. No, they're just pissing me off. No, you're buying fear. Because spoken from one who used to get mad all the time, I don't get mad anymore. I don't buy that anymore. I don't want that anymore. And so therefore, I've let that go. Now, if I go into a store and I buy dark chocolate, because I love dark chocolate. I mean, I love good dark chocolate. And every time I go in there, they start to get to know me. And now they're asking, so what's your name? Troy. Hey, Troy, I walk in. Hey, the dark chocolate's right here. We just got some brand new one. Really? Oh, I would love that dark chocolate. And so I buy it. Every day I walk in and buy that dark chocolate because it's what I like. That's what I'm talking about. What you don't realize is that there's this secret underlying enjoyment of whatever your flavor of unhappiness is. You like it. Now, you cannot admit that and continue to be blind, or you can admit, at least on some level, I must like this. I keep getting it. I must like it. But I don't know why I would like it. Well, of course, that's true, but you still have to recognize the fact that you're the one buying. And so if you don't want it anymore and you're tired of it, stop buying it. It really is that simple. Now, in the beginning, to stop that train going down that track might not be the easiest thing in all of the world. But if you've at least made the decision to no longer buy, your train is now slowing. It might take a little bit to pull a U-turn on a big train that you've had for a long time, with a lot of cars that have a lot of weight behind it, or what we call charge. If you're a charged individual, that means you have lots of upsets or situations that you continually go back to and reinvigorate those memories or those thoughts or those neural pathways. into believing you are mad, angry, disrespected, offended, guilty, shamed, arrogant, prideful, apathetic, powerless, fearless, weak, anxiety-ridden, all those things. You have invigorated all those situations and ideas over and over and over. And no one can invigorate them except you. You're the one that does it all. And so guess who is the only one that can fix it? Well, they need to apologize to me. No. You need to stop picking up that train. You need to stop going down that track. You need to give up that which you don't want. And I've mentioned this in a couple of podcasts. Don't run away from what you don't want, because you don't know what direction you're going. But if instead you run to what you do want, now you have at least the correct direction, or at least one that you're aware of. It may not lead you to happiness yet, but as you begin to move toward that which you believe you do want, and you can recognize those things that are irritating you and no longer want, well, that's a good day right there. So stop buying the chocolate. Stop buying these things. Begin to move away from them by going towards that which you want. So we haven't even asked the most important question. What do you want? I mean, really. What is of value to you now? If you've seen these things in this particular podcast and say, my gosh, I'm doing this, then let's ask the better question. What would be a most excellent thing for you? Would it be joy? Would it be endless love? Endless, perfect love? Not a love that all of a sudden goes away. I'm talking about the real stuff that's permanent. The stuff deep within you that is a wellspring of life and joy and love, where God put it gently and forever within you. It's there now. You may have covered it up with a bunch of crap, but trust me, as you begin to stop buying crap and begin to give away all those situations and tendencies within your own brain, you begin to realize that there's a lightness about you. Not only light as in weight off of your shoulders, but a light that is luminescent within you. That light, that life, that joy, that perfect love, that perfect, beautiful peace that is forever, that was placed in there in the beginning, that is Christ, that is God, that is us, that is everyone, that is all that there is, has always been within you. It's never left you. Even if you choose some kind of crazy cult, who knows, whatever that you used to believe in, but now you're beginning to even let go of those limited thoughts. Because God is not in a box. He is completely unlimited. And He created you in the same way. He did not limit you in any way, shape, or form. If He did, you would be an automaton. You would have no free will and no ability to choose anything. But even though He gave us free will, there is only one choice. Now, just because that choice seems like that there is everything, and I guess I could choose not everything. And of course, we would call that nothing. And the moment that we call it nothing, we've actually made it something, and now we think we can choose it. And there's a lot of people out there choosing nothing. And when they get nothing, they're afraid, they're scared. And because they're scared and afraid, and they got fear constantly running through them, they get mad, or they get apathetic, or they get powerless, or they get guilty and shameful, or they get arrogant and try to make themselves look better, even though underneath they know that they're just crap because that's what they believe, even though it's not true. And so then they're easily offended, easily disrespected, because they've first disrespected themselves, by not believing what God made them to be. And it happens to all of us, for all of us have fallen short. But the moment that we start waking up and start realizing the joy of what we are and the amazingness of which we are given, don't you just want to tell everyone, don't do what I do anymore? You can be free too. And the more of us are free, the faster this goes. So I invite you into the light, into joy, into love, into peace. It's always been there for us. There have been those that have walked before us that have shown us the way, the truth, and the life. And their message is still relevant today and will be until we are all back home once again, realizing that we never left and that we were one this whole time. Because how could we have possibly left our home when God is one and will forever be one? How could you corrupt the incorruptible? And of course you can't. And if you were made out of the incorruptible, you are no more corruptible than anything else. And so therefore it was only your belief that you could be. That was the only thing that needs undoing, if there was ever anything that needed undoing. But the moment that you awake from this dream of hell that you're in this planet, and you realize and start seeing around you all the love, all the joy, all the peace that God had put there from the beginning, you'll start to understand exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll see you there. And you'll see my smiling face. And everyone else's too, including your own. Until next time, remember, you do not have something to do. You only have something to see. I'm Dr. Troy.